Greetings, everyone, and welcome tonight to the update. It's really late here in Helsinki, but we're able to get it out, getting ready to get a little bit of rest, get up in the morning. I'm having breakfast down on the Baltic Sea, and then I'll be working my way toward Warsaw, Poland. Zhenya is already en route to meet me there. Security guy that's coming from the United States is already in the air on his way. So tomorrow is go day, and we will be getting together. A few things I want to update you on, and tonight's update is going to be relatively quick because today has been a day of chaos, literal chaos, propaganda chaos. In fact, many of the people that I follow and I get information from, communicate back and forth, all we've had all day is conflicting information. Now, we do have some facts. We're going to share those. And before I jump into a few of the facts that we have tonight, I want to give you an update on what has happened in the country as far as the last 23 hours of strikes. Just a little while ago, Rivne was hit. And Ukraine's done some good stuff today, and Ukraine has had to endure quite a few strikes today throughout the country. But take a look at that, and then we'll get back to you. All right, so here we go for our nightly update. And things should be getting back to normal now with getting down to Poland and Ukraine. But as far as the nightly update on activity that has happened in the last 24 hours, I want to update you first on some things that Ukraine has done. So we're going to go with blue on this. Novaya Kakhovka here. Ukraine demolished some Russian supply lines and some Russian warehouses today, as well as in Melitopol and south of Donetsk. Ukraine did a really good job striking. Unfortunately, Russia has really unloaded today on the opposite side. Now, here's what we know. We know that more supplies are coming in across that Kerch Bridge and coming into Crimea. And then, of course, this would be the area where Ukraine has done some damage there with the red dots, but most of that has been repaired and reconstructed where Russia is able once again to push supplies up. Today, just a little while ago, 7 missiles were fired off of airplanes. The airplanes actually came out of Belarus, came this way. 7 missiles were fired at Rivne. 5 did hit targets. We are waiting to hear back on any casualties, any deaths. These were military targets that were struck in Rivne. And to be quite honest with you, Rivne here, and I will put this in a different color because they were not struck, but Zhytomyr also is the other city up here in the north that is major on the target list. But Zhytomyr was not hit today, Rivne was. In addition to that, down here in the south, Mykolaiv continued. Parts of Kherson, even in the city, were hit today, and yes, that is Russian occupied. Kryvyi Rog was struck many times today, right in the center of the city. Nikopol continuing to be demolished. Zaporizhia was struck today multiple times, as well as Dnipro. All of this area was hit very hard. In addition to that, Kharkiv nonstop, Sumy increasing on the shelling, and then when we come over here and we look at the east, Slavyansk and Kramatorsk were hit very hard as well. So when you look at the big picture here, yes, we do see some areas where Ukraine was able to hit. They hit here, they hit here, they hit here. But when you look at the big picture, due to the overwhelming amount of basically nonstop arms, we see Russia hitting in Rivne, Sumy, Kharkiv, East, Dnipro, Zaporizhia, Nikopol, Kryvyi Rog, Mykolaiv, and Kherson. It is non-stop shelling. Now, these are the facts on what has happened in the last 24 hours. But when we get beyond that, then we begin to talk about quite a bit of madness that has happened today in this war. And I'll get to that right now. So as you can see, there we have it. That's the activity today. It's been a very active day. Now, with that said, we can definitely say that's not propaganda. These are facts. These are the places that have been hit. But now, for the next few minutes, I want to share with you a little bit of the propaganda that is out of control. It's on overload, as the title of the program is talking about tonight. We've looked at the map. We've updated. First area I want to talk about tonight, and you saw on the map, was Zaporozhye. Zaporozhye has been hit extremely hard over the last couple of days. And one of the targets that was hit last night was absolutely a civilian target. It was a school. And what size is the school? It holds about, the student population that usually attends that school is about 200 kids. That school has now been destroyed. And of course, school was supposed to begin on about September the 1st. So that has been destroyed. Unfortunately, Ukraine, or fortunately rather, Ukraine puts out the true information that it was a school. It was not a military target. But unfortunately, Russia comes right back. The same thing they're doing in Kharkiv, and declaring it was a military target. Military's hiding there. Military strategists were there, and how glorious their attack was. Nothing but a complete lie and complete propaganda flooding the airwaves today about the strikes in Zaporozhye. Second thing about the chaos today, and this is so ugly I will not even show it to you, but you may or may not be aware of this, but today is the 100th day since the Azovstal defenders surrendered there in the streets in Mariupol. Can you guys believe that's been 100 days? I can't believe it. In celebration of that 100th day, we are getting close where it could be any day that the tribunal potentially happens in Mariupol. We know that Ukraine has already said, Zelensky himself said, if that happens, forget it. There will never be a negotiation. But on the 100th day of the capture of the Azovstal defenders, today in Russia, a rock star was swinging around with skulls in his hands, a skull in his hand, proclaiming that this was the skull of an Azov defender. And the only thing that Russia could do, and they had the right to do, was to kill all of these defenders, to wipe Ukraine out. The people there cheering, screaming, madness. You say, well, was that real? Well, it was absolutely real that it happened. I watched it. I will not share it because it's terrible. It's nasty. But it's still the propaganda chaos. Today, propaganda was on overload. So whether it's real or not is not the most important thing. What's real is the propaganda machine is cranked up, and it absolutely happened. Russian forces today, over the last day or so, rotating their S-300 air defenses out of Syria, saying that they're bringing them to Russia. Well, they're not bringing them to Russia. They're moving them in, repairing them, and sending them to Crimea. Once again, the propaganda is out of control. We're not sending these things to fight in Ukraine. We're just rotating them out for service and repair. Baloney. Nothing is true coming out of the Kremlin. And for some reason today, all of this news just hit on the same day. As far as soldiers increasing, we've already known. Russia said they're increasing the amount of soldiers by 90,000 on Ukrainian territory. Today they came out and said, no, we're not doing that. Baloney. It's already happening. It's non-stop chaos. Today, Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, still in a very dire situation. Ukrainian employees of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant are being pressured, tortured. They're using their family members as bargaining chips so that they will keep working there under the constraints of the Russian forces who are dictating everything they do, that they are basically working inside of a time bomb. One accident and we're in major trouble. But today it came out that they are literally being tortured in the basements. I have the pictures. I have the eyewitness testimonies. I just won't show it. It's so horrible, and I try not to sensationalize. I only show things when it's like, you remember the Bucha early. I showed some of those things, and I pre-warned people. But we've watched all of this. Ukraine is saying it's happening. Russia coming out and saying, what are you talking about? We're not torturing anybody. If anybody's being tortured, it's us. Once again, propaganda on overload. I'm going to make a prediction for you tonight. And to be honest with you, tomorrow, I'm looking forward. I've enjoyed my time in Helsinki, but I'm ready to get down and let's get rolling. So tomorrow I will be with Zhenya. Tomorrow night on the stream, you will have PZ and PG together. He'll be there to get me and get my other guy, and tomorrow night you'll have us, and we can get a lot of this massaged out and clarified on this information. But everybody today is saying it's nothing but propaganda chaos today. Propaganda chaos today. It's out of control. For me personally, it's a smokescreen. It's a smokescreen so that Russia can do what they want to do, so that they can get things into their favor. I mean, Belarus is not fighting. Well, I showed you the map just a little while ago. The airplanes that dropped those missiles on Rivne came out of Belarus. But Belarus is not in the war. It's called propaganda, misinformation, disinformation on overload. Now, back to my prediction I'm going to make. This war is going to come down to Crimea. Crimea is Ukraine. Period. Exclamation point. But Russia is not going to give up Crimea. Crimea will be fought over. Crimea is being fought over. And just today, I received some video of Medvedev talking about this war and specifically talking about Crimea. Pay attention to what he says. The translation is ready to roll for you. Check this out.
Должны сделать все, чтобы Третья мировая война не случилась. И политика нашей страны направлена именно на это. Скажем прямо, даже специальная военная операция проводится для того, чтобы не случилось Третьей мировой войны. Почему? По одной простой причине. Если бы Украина получила поддержку и вступила бы в НАТО, а потом один из сумасшедших правителей Украины начал бы военную операцию против российской территории, например, против Крыма, это бы означало начало Третьей мировой войны. Жизненные интересы России уже находятся под угрозой. И именно поэтому и проводится специальная военная операция по защите Донбасса, по демилитаризации вооруженных сил Украины и проведению денацификационных мероприятий.
So there you see Medvedev talking, just madness. We're stopping World War III. But if you mess with our Crimea, then all bets are off. Well, Crimea is going to be messed with because it's not yours. It appears that Crimea is going to become even more on a daily basis a key topic in this war. So there you have it, folks. I do have to get a little bit of sleep. I've just got a few hours, and I'm sorry, I'm even in my t-shirt. But tomorrow we'll be rolling, flight down to Warsaw, and absolutely we'll keep you updated. Tomorrow it will really crank up. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you being here each night, 9 o'clock Eastern, as the updates are ready for you. But starting tomorrow, it's the sole focus, it's the sole purpose, and that is to share the love of God, distribute our humanitarian aid, run food, help the military, do everything we can do, as President Zelensky said, to be a part of that humanitarian army, because that's the way we're going to win, by working together. So that gets rolling tomorrow, and then the updates will be more detailed, more accurate, and of course, everything changes once we get into Poland and then into Ukraine. As I told you, the first few days I was here in Finland, it was obvious that the atmosphere even here in Helsinki is tense. Remember what Ate said, Russia is just right over that direction, not that far. And you can just feel it. It's tense here. There's a nervousness because nobody really knows what's happening. And I know that is getting ready to really X up once I get into Poland tomorrow. And then, of course, into Ukraine. Then it's going to go to the next level. But we're ready for it. We're ready to roll. Our team is ready. You guys are ready. You've done a phenomenal job supporting, and we appreciate it. Continue to pray. Can pray for our safe travels. And tomorrow, the team should be on the ground together, and we'll get you updated, and away we go on the journey. And thankful that you were here, not only to share in it as we've done this together, but to share it, to tell others, to communicate. Let's get the truth out and share what is actually happening. So tomorrow from Poland, and then on into Ukraine. You guys be blessed. Peace to you. And we'll be on here a little bit later. Next time you see me, it's going to be PZ right beside me. Guarantee it. You guys have a great evening. Peace to you and peace to Ukraine. Good night.